Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Regarding the elections and people are following the American elections, people are nervously following up this issue. Now we want to know, what is the Islamic perspective regarding this? Number one, if people know the horribleness and the heaviness of this responsibility, they will be running away from it. They'd rather pay money to avoid it, to leave it. Why? Because the Prophet gave the best description for this issue. Abu Dhar came to the Prophet and proposed to him that he assign him for a certain leadership. Then the Prophet replied and said, "O Abu Dhar, you are weak, and it is a matter of trust, responsibility. And at the day of judgment, it will be a matter of regret and sorrow." Because it's a big responsibility. People don't know about this. You're responsible for everything, for all people, for their safety, for their economics, for the poor one among them, for the crimes that occur. Why you were so lenient, why you were negligent regarding those who commit crimes, why you did not punish Islamically those who steal, those who kill, those who fraud, etc., etc. It's responsibility. So the Prophet's words are really treasures. So he said, "O Abu Dhar, it is a matter of trust, and at the day of judgment, it will be a matter of shame and regret." There's another beautiful hadith also. The Prophet said to another companion, whose name is Abdurrahman ibn Samura, he said, "Don't ask the leadership. Don't be the one to rush to it, to demand it. Yes, if it came to you, people know you that you are a very trustworthy person, then they say you must take it, that's another issue. But to rush yourself to it, it seems that you're ignorant about its heaviness and its responsibility at the day of judgment." So the Prophet said to Abdurrahman ibn Samura, "Don't ask the leadership, for if you were given it, by asking for it, it will be left for you to delve in it randomly. You will not be helped to manage it, to deal with it as should be. But if it will be given to you while you're not asking for it, you will be helped on it. You'll be left, that means you'll be indulged in it. You don't know how to behave, how to manage it, how to direct it. But if it came to you while you're not asking for it, you will be helped on it." Now, first let me say this. No one, whether to be successfully elected or he lost it, in any country, in any place in the world, whether it is a minor leadership or a major leadership, it is in the hand of Allah. Let's recite this verse and translate it. قل اللهم مالك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء. Say, "O Allah, the owner of the kingship, the possessor of the kingship, you give the kingdom to whom you will, and you take it away from whom you will. وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء. And you endure with honor whom you will, and you humiliate whom you will. بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير." All good is in your hand, and you are the powerful over all things. So this is a very important verse. It shows you that no one can win, no one can fail, but it's in the hand of Allah. Period. It is in the hand of Allah. Why we say that? It has something to do with his religion. Sometimes Allah the Almighty, He helps, He gives the chance for a leader to lead who is corrupt. But Allah punishes His people through him because they are also corrupt. As they say, as people are, their leader will be. There will be a leader assigned to them who look alike them. So their punishment, if they say, he's a thief, well, check if you are yourselves thief as well. The Prophet said, there are 3 people whom Allah will not be looking at. That means in consideration. Because people will be extremely in need of Allah to look at them in consideration and mercy at that horrible day of judgment. Among them is the one who gives his pledge of allegiance, that means to obey, but he obey him for nothing but for lively object. Just like those who accept some money as bribery to give their vote to someone, then he'll be showing them the wonders and the corruptions. So by some money he gave them, he gained a lot through their voices, and then they will be suffering his corruption as well. So among those whom Allah will be angry with are those who give their pledge of allegiance for nothing but for dunya. If he gave them dunya, lively object, they'll be very happy with him. If he did not give them dunya, lively object, they'll be angry with him. So those people are not really care for the leadership, which is for the goodness of all people, but it's only for themselves. And that's why we have to ask about why those people have big campaigns that are very costly. It costs them to pay something like hundreds of millions. What are they gaining? If they're paying 100 million, what are they gaining? Maybe billions. So what is the, in with regard to the accusations, the Russians are hacking the votes, the Iranians are hacking, there are some cheating in voting. So what about votings and elections? To let this matter of leadership being in the hand of the layman people, as if the layman people are infallible, sinless. So if the majority accepted or assigned one person, that means he deserves it. Not necessarily. Also, you cannot paint all people by one brush. People are motivated, oriented by racism. They're racist. Like, for example, the campaign of Trump. Who are those voters? Are they good people? Good-mannered people? No, they're racist. They believe in white supremacy. So how can we give those people a chance to be voters? Because those people, if they became the majority in the society, they'll be corrupting the society. So how can we need their voices, need their votes? Other people, they're ignorant. So you can't depend on people, all right? But if there are the most selective kind of righteous people who know about the religion of Allah more and more than others, they're trustworthy. They have been well praised and known by people to be memorizers of the book of Allah. They have knowledge about the wisdom, and I mean by the wisdom the Sunnah, because the Quran did not mention the word Sunnah of the Prophet. He always described the Sunnah of the Prophet as wisdom. So those who have taken more from the Sunnah, they are the more wise people. So those are the people that their voices, their votes should be taken, not the layman people, who most of them, they believe in white supremacy Others, they believe in black supremacy, etc., etc. So, are those the good people for the good society? No. So therefore, these kinds of elections, now they are falling. Plus, there are a lot of kind of frauds. Even from Russia. Russia hacked the elections 4 years ago. And even now today, Iran, they say they also do the same thing. They are intending to hack, through mails, electronic mails, and all of this stuff. That is not the proper way to elect and assign a person. No. Plus, we know that those people are corrupt, and they have a lot of money. They can bribe people to vote for them. Then they can get the money back doubled and multiplied. The Islamic way is the best. So what is the solution? The solution always is Islamic. Number one, the most deserving to lead the Muslims is the one who is, number one, in being aware of the Prophet's way of dealing with the people. He knows the Prophet's Sunnah, especially the Prophet's Sunnah regarding leading people, managing people. And Abu Bakr, by Allah, was the best. 2 years of his leadership, but he set the roots of the righteous leadership. Wallahi. So that's the first thing, that the leader should be the most knowing person about the Prophet's Sunnah. And that's why Abu Sa'id al-Khudri described Abu Bakr that he is the most knowledgeable person among us, the best person in knowledge, in knowing the way of the Prophet, peace be with him. So number one, the one who is being voted for should be a person who is mostly knowledgeable about the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. That's number one. Number two, that those who select him are well known also to be a people of knowledge. They know the Quran, they are righteous people, they are known, they are elderly who are, since long time ago, are well known to be people of knowledge and God-fearing. Those layman people, 18 years, 20 years, they are also seeking dunya, lively objects, and they may be bribed. But as for those who are well known to be righteous people, and they are God-fearing people, something like 8, 10, all right? So they decide among themselves that this is the person that fits the leadership in his righteousness, in his knowledge. That is best for the ummah, for the nation. Unlike those people. I mean, look at this Donald Trump. Who's defending him? The church. Who is he? He's well known to be a person of corrupt. Woman, rape, many cases. Look at his language, the way he speaks. Look at his racism. I mean, the first time when he was elected, he decided to build a big wall between him and Mexico. And guess what? He said they should be paying for the wall. That's how he speaks. They should be paying for the wall. For the wall. They should be paying for it. So if you want to build a wall, why don't you pay the money for it? No. They should build it and they should pay for it. See? And he keeps saying these words. Saudi Arabia must pay for us. North Korea, they should pay for us. Mexico, they should pay for us. Pay. Are you president or you're a businessman? So the voting should not be in the hand of those who are so keen on getting money. So they get special benefits, but it will be harmful for the whole community, society. And it should be given to him. It should be given to the one who hate to achieve it, who hate it, who knows he has a fear that it may be given to him. Unlike those that you just give it to me. Don't worry, I'm gonna take care of everything. Don't worry. The first day Abu Bakr was elected, he went down to the marketplace, putting some textiles on his shoulder, selling and buying. So the companion said to him, "What are you doing here?" He said, "Well, I have to make life for my family." So they decided to dedicate, specify some little money that can barely be sufficient for him and his family in order to dedicate himself for the leadership. Unlike those people, presidents, when they become leaders, presidents, oh my God, they guarantee the future of themselves, their families, their children, and the children of their children on the account of the people's money. So it should be given to him while he hated. This is the sign. Hating what? Hating the consequences of it. He fears its consequences. He should be known with his zuhd. Zuhd means asceticism. Okay? He's ascetic. That means doesn't care about life. Okay? He's not so keen for this life, knowing that this life is station, not destination. Such person, he deserves it. His assembly should be those memorizers of the Quran around him that surround him. Okay, he'll be surrounded by those memorizers of the Quran. Know the best people of knowledge regarding the book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Do you know that Umar, he is well famous in terms of fairness and justice. He saw an injured donkey, cattle, or maybe a camel, I don't know. But there's a hole in its injury. He put his hand on this injury and he said, "Even this, I'm afraid that Allah will be asking me at the Day of Judgment, why didn't you fix the road for this?" And at his last breath, when he was stabbed by a Persian pagan, people suggested that let your son be the leader after you. He said, no way. No two persons among the family of Umar should attain the leadership. And also among the good thing that if this person had been leading and he became known that he is really fair, just like the sixth caliph. He used to be rich, but when he was assigned to be the leader, he said to his wife, "Give me the jewelry we have been collecting before my leadership." He took it from her and he added it to the treasure box of the Muslims. And he should be also, if he feels that his time is up and he may not become the leader anymore, or expecting a close death, it is good, it is optional to assign someone after him. And this advice that he gives, it should be for the sake of Allah, not for the sake of kinship or friendship or party or organization. No. Should not be for this. So this is the righteous way of assigning someone to be the leader. Not like those people who are billionaires and they are ready to pay billions, in which they will be regretful for it at the Day of Judgment, because it is a matter of responsibility. So the real Muslim who keeps thinking about the hilarious stand at the Day of Judgment before Allah the Almighty, he'll be afraid to take it. He'll be afraid, and he'll be saying, "Alhamdulillah, that I was not assigned for it." Especially those who know that they have some weakness. Just like what the Prophet said to Abu Dharr. He said, "Oh Abu Dharr, you are weak." And it's a matter of responsibility. And at the Day of Judgment, it's going to be a matter of shame and regret, except for those, or for one who take it in due to it and pay what is owed in it. You are weak. And he said to him before that, he said, Wallahi, I love for you what I love for myself. You are weak, and it is a matter of trust, and at the day of judgment it will be a matter of shame and regret at the day of resurrection. So this is the Muslim attitude regarding the leadership, the elections, etc., etc. Now, finally, if we are American citizens, should we be voting? Look, if you vote with the intention that you believe in their constitution, that their constitution is a good alternative, or etc., no. But if you found someone who promised, if I become the leader, I'm going to persecute Muslims, I'm going to be preventing Muslims, banning them from entering the United States, etc., for example. All right? And another person like Joe Biden, by the way, he was quoting the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and I was amazed by that. He said, according to what the Prophet Muhammad said, whoever see among you a munkar, an evil, he should correct it by his hand. If he couldn't, then by his tongue. If he couldn't, then by his heart. And that is the weakest faith. To criticize it, to object against it. You can't publicly. So you object against it in your heart. That's the weakest kind of faith. It's still faith though, but it's the weakest kind of faith. I liked it. And he said, the day number 1, if I was elected, I will cancel the issue that Trump had made, and that is to ban the Muslims from entering the United States. If he showed some cooperation and promised help for the Muslims, why not? In any case, the leader is not Muslim. All right? But to cooperate on failing that arrogant, fussy, blunt person who's supported by a failure kind of evangelical church. Oh, by the way, they believe that Trump had been foretold, prophesied in the Bible, the book of Isaiah, chapter 41. What does it say? God spoke to his Messiah, Cyrus. What? Cyrus is a pagan. How come the Bible described this pagan person as a Messiah? Anointed. And they say this verse is the prophecy of Trump's coming to be the leader. Now, if you want to see if this book is from God, check Isaiah chapter 6 verse 1. It tells you that God has tails. Is that book from God? And God promised to unite the United States by him. But what I see is the opposite now. Exactly. The man now is about to lose the election, to be re-elected, and he's ready now to shred the whole United States for himself, because he's just like the drowning person. Okay? Because if he will not be elected, if he will fail in the election, there are many cases that wait for him. Lawsuits are waiting for him. Oh my God. How many? How many? So, in this perspective, if we vote for someone who promised the Muslims to support them, to be fair with them, you are fulfilling what the Prophet and the companions wished. When there was a war between the Romans and the Persians, the Prophet and his companions, they wished that the Romans will win the fight, the war between them and the Persians. So now we can do that on practice. At least we can give hand to the one who is showing support for the Muslims against the one who show harshness against the Muslims. Since Allah is protecting, preserving His religion, as Umar said, Allah preserves His religion. That's why those Westerners, they are tempted to occupy the Muslim world, taking their goods, their resources. They say, it's a good chance. The Muslims are weak. We can annihilate Islam. No. The miraculous thing here, though, is that they see the Muslims weak, but they see Islam coming rapidly to them. What's going on? There's a miracle here. Anyway, the last point I want to make is this. The Shia say that the companions, after the Prophet died, they rushed immediately to a place of gathering called As-Saqifa, and they started to discuss the issue of leadership. Who's going to be the leader of the Prophet after the Prophet? Who's going to be the leader after the Prophet? They will say to you, they play emotional tone or emotional trick, saying, oh, those companions, they rushed to the leadership. They rushed to the matter of leadership. And they left the corpse of the body. And they left the corpse of the Prophet. They left it to Ali. And Ali was taking care of the Prophet's corpse, bathing the Prophet. While those people, they rushed to see who's going to be the leader. Because this is against what we know about the companions, that they don't care about this livelihood issue. They don't care. But despite they don't care, they do not leave this position vacant. So the hypocrites in Medina will be rushing first to it. So despite they are ascetic people, the companions are zahid in matters of life, but they don't leave that position of the leadership after the Prophet ﷺ to be left to the hypocrites. Yeah, they have the right to rush to it and to nominate the person who deserves to be the leader. Now, don't forget that the Shia say that nothing can be hidden from Ali's knowledge. He knows everything. Well, that means while he was bathing the Prophet, he knew that they went to catch the leadership. Yes. And you say that he deserves to be the next one after the Prophet, to be the leader. Yes. So was he knowing what's going on in that place, As-Saqifa? It's called As-Saqifa. Was he knowing what's going on? Here, you can catch the fish. They say nothing can be hidden away from Ali. Number two, they say that Ali went immediately to bathe the Prophet. How many days? The Prophet died on Monday, all right. Tuesday, Wednesday, at the middle of Wednesday, the Prophet was buried. So did it take 3 days with Ali to bathe the Prophet? I mean, this is an accusation. First, the Prophet doesn't need to be bathed. No way. If the martyr doesn't need, how much more the Prophet? The other thing is, they forgot what they narrated by Ali, that he said. Look, I'm going to read that on to you now. They say, what is obligatory in terms of Allah's religion, Allah's law? What is obligatory according to the law of Allah? That when their leader die, whether he is righteous or even evil, they should do nothing. They should not make any move forward or backward move. Neither forward nor backward move. before they nominate and select a leader for themselves that will be uniting them. Okay? That's how they said it. It's in the books Al-Ihtijaj for At-Tabrasi, first volume, page 4, Bihar al-Anwar, volume 33, page 144. So Ali was giving instruction to the people that if any leader died, people after him should not be doing anything before they select a next one to the previous one. So here now, the emotional trick has gone. So did the companions go firstly to do that? Yeah, this is the law of God. That's what the Shia say. So the companions were applying what the Shia say about Ali, that he said, first thing you do is to select a leader. And that's what in Iran they did. When Khomeini died, he was kept in the freezer until they select a leader after him, and that was Khamenei. You can see those people are, obsessed with the matter of imama for the family of the Prophet, and there is no consultation. Look, they have assembly of consultation, and they don't have a leader that belongs to the family Prophet. So they're playing games. So anyway, yes, the companions should not leave the leadership vacant, so the hypocrites in Medina will be proceeding to it. And that's okay. Islamically, this is what should be done. So by this, the trick can vanish. They say that it took 3 days with Ali to bathe the Prophet ﷺ. I mean, this is an accusation. The Christians will come and say, you Prophet needed 3 days to be bathed and washed. What was the problem with his body? He never took a bath before he died? Come on. So don't play these games. And by the way, you think that the companions did not come to the masjid, and the Prophet's body was next to the masjid in the house of Aisha. And because of that, we have a narration for you that will be disproving this claim. Aisha said that the companions of the Prophet, when they wanted to bathe the Prophet, the companions, plural, and those companions were in her house. When they wanted to bathe the Prophet ﷺ, they said, Wallahi, we don't know. Should we take off the clothes of the Prophet as we do to our dead people? Or we bathe him while his clothes are over him? So when they disagreed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala threw on them sleep. Each one of them had his chin on his chest. They slept. And they heard someone speaking from a remote place in the room, saying to them, bathe the Prophet while his shirt is over him. Narrated by Abu Dawood, narration number 3141, and Shaykh Al-Albani in his book Ahkam al-Janaiz, page 49, he said this narration is authentic. Also, there's another narration in Bukhari, narration number 1387. Aisha said, I came to my father Abu Bakr and I was asking him, how much was the cost of the shroud of the Prophet when you bathed him? Father, take it. So it's not Ali only who bathed the Prophet. And by the way, if Ali did not go to the assembly to nominate the leader, Ali would be contradicting what he said, according to the Shia narration. He said you should not do anything before you go and nominate a next leader after the previous one who died. So Ali would be contradicting himself. So you wanted to plot, but the plot went back against you. Now people are pointing their fingers on the text you narrated in your books, saying that Ali said you should not be doing anything before you nominate a leader. So why Ali left the place and he was bathing the Prophet? And doing what? Bathing the Prophet for 3 days? So non-Muslims will be disgusted with this, saying, 3 days? Your Prophet needed to be bathed. Oh, come on. I just wanted to add this to the video about the matter of leadership in Islamic perspective, so it will be, inshallah, beneficial. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.